This is the Cyrus family apple orchard on the Crooked River National Grassland. It was planted 130 years ago by the first Cyrus family members who settled here in the mid-1880s. Like a lot of pioneers, they brought apple seeds with them and planted orchards, which they primarily used to make cider.
A lot of these orchards were, like Johnny Appleseed's. They were what they had called old green spitters because, fresh, they were awful. But for cider, on the frontier, that was one of the safest things to drink.
It's come almost like triage. We're dealing with like the highest risk factors right now, which is wildfire. So we're removing the brush, encroaching juniper, things that when a fire would come through would increase the hot fire severity. So we want to make this space as safe for wildfire to come through as possible.
The Heritage Apple Corps is a group of volunteer arborists, Forest Service staff, and community members with skills, knowledge, and interest in restoring and protecting historic orchards.
Several sawyers out here, and they're just cutting out all the brush that's using up the water that the apple trees really need. And they're cutting it up, and we're just hauling it out and putting it over in big piles, and then come in here with a chipper shredder, and they'll shred all this to get rid of the fire load.
They're given their own time, they want to learn how to do it, and they keep coming back, they do the work, and they're fun. We got the cyclists here, Forest Service, winemakers.
The last time this orchard got any attention was in the early 2000s. Apple trees, like all fruit trees, require regular pruning, and when they don't get it, they begin to fail.
See the poor little trees like over there, they were mostly dead. But by really pruning, they'll come back. I had a couple trees that just had a couple limbs, taking all the dead material out.
This was the Cyrus family's orchard, established in the early or late 1800s, early 1900s, so over 100 years old here. We've got multiple varieties of historic apple trees, and we've been working with our partners to get these orchards back in healthy shape, defensible spaces against wildfire, and the vigor of these apple trees as well, improve them so that they'll be able to bear more fruit in the future and be an asset to the community.
Thus far, 41 fruit trees from the Crooked River National Grassland have been grafted and cultivated at the historic Apple Preservation Arboretum in Clarno.
I've been interested in heritage apples for a long time and kind of the history. My family came on the Oregon Trail in 1853 to a farm in the Willamette Valley. My grandfather had several old varieties of apples in his head that he wrote down at one time.
They need a lot of work and they need to heal. So no fruit for a while, but there's discussion about future and probably just eating apples.
Here's the McCoyne Orchard, about 4 miles east of the Cyrus Orchard, which was restored last year. The trees here are much happier, leafing out and bearing more fruit.
The natural lifespan of horticultural apple trees is roughly 150 to 200 years if pruned meticulously. These trees here and there have had rounds of maintenance, but it's been potentially 15, 20 years since they were really pruned heavily. So that reduces their longevity. But the great thing with apple trees is that they're resprouters, but they do have a lifespan. So, in another 50, 60 years, no matter what we do, the trees are going to pass away. So that's why we're getting grafts of the trees, so we are able to keep their genetics.
If you're interested in volunteering or donating to the restoration of historic apple orchards, look up the Heritage Apple Corps, which is now associated with the nonprofit School of Ranch. From the Crooked River National Grassland, I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.